Nice to have you here. Welcome to this video. Today, we are going to take a look at a manufacturer that we haven't featured in our videos for quite a while. It was also very quiet for a long time. And sometimes a product comes, then it turns out it doesn't. Then it might just not be available in Germany. But I brought you something new from Meguiar's, namely the ultimate ceramic coating. And here we definitely need to conduct a test because it applies super easily. At least, that's how it reads. Let's test it out. Take a look at the hydrophobic behavior and maybe check the look as well. Will we get a nice color refresh? Yes? No? I'll provide you with all the information. Let's take a quick look at this together. And what about the chemical resistance in relation to the durability? And how much ceramic coating is actually in this bottle? Let's take a look. Here we go. Have fun. I can already hear the first one of you saying, ceramic coating. Isn't there usually a bit of solvent in it to keep it all liquid? Why is there a regular spray nozzle in there? And why is it such a white milk? To answer the questions, please write directly to Meguiar because I can't do that either. That's why we are testing it in the user experience. And I'm really curious to see how well it works because otherwise, if we unscrew it from the top, it is not sealed any further. So that's why I'm wondering a bit if we have some slight deposits here, but that could also be completely normal. And let's take a look at the performance. First, we shake it up really well, and then we check the instructions in German to see what information we have. You can see here, I will hold it up to the camera like this so that you can pause it and read everything at your leisure. Incredible water, beading with exceptional durability. And we will take a look at that together right here afterwards. It enhances shine and smoothness while also concealing minor defects. There are a few spots on the paint that I haven't polished yet. This means we can also test that directly. It has of course been developed for exterior paints, but it is also excellent for plastic trims, films, PPF and wheels. So I think that's something we can take a look at as well. We'll also apply a bit to the wheels or plastic, as I have all of that on the vehicle. It's quite faded. Can we also include the mirror in the test for application? Shake it well? We'll do that right away before we forget. And then, we actually have a pretty simple application here. They spray it directly onto the surface. We recommend working on each section one at a time. Apply the product with a microfiber cloth using light to moderate pressure in a crosshatch pattern over the surface. This step activates the curing process. Spread the product until it flashes 2021 and no longer appears wet. Okay, now we need to see how this looks visually. Wipe the product off with a separate microfiber cloth. Once they have finished processing the partial area, they continue with this procedure on the entire vehicle. Okay? Wash the cloths immediately after completion. That is definitely always important. What I'm missing a bit here, as we look further, is that we still have all the languages included. Am I missing something or overlooking it right now? But I can't find any information about the durability on the bottle. But feel free to write it down below. Otherwise, you can definitely find some information on the website, and I will include that here as well. However, I don't see anything on the bottle itself right now. It also states here that the quantity is sufficient for approximately 4 average-sized vehicles. Not recommended for matte finishes and satin surfaces, as it creates unwanted shine on these surfaces. A few more details, so maybe I overlooked something. Otherwise, I'll include it now. Let's apply it together, shall we? That's the exciting part. So, I applied it exactly as it is written on the small bottle. That means spray it onto the surface. In terms of quantity, it wasn't clearly defined either. I just really applied a few spots to ensure that I had enough product on. Then spread it with a cloth, nice and evenly, right up to the edge, ensuring that every area of the product is covered. What this flashing is supposed to mean didn't really come across clearly in the text. But I have noticed that if you let it air out like this for 2 or 3 minutes, the longer you wait, the more, let's say, finicky it becomes. Here you can also clearly see the difference. You have the light haze on, and I polished this after about 3 to 4 minutes. I also polished it again in another spot right after 30 seconds. It was definitely better there. But here, this was the last moment when it still worked well. If you wait any longer, it becomes extremely, let's say, sticky. It really sticks to the surface. And now we just go over it and polish it nicely. Here you can also see that the streaks don't all disappear immediately. You can see it well. Only when I switch the cloth side again right afterwards, then I have really removed the rest completely. And it worked in the end. But in terms of user-friendliness, it could still be a bit better, I have to say quite clearly. That was my first piece of feedback that I can give you on this. Now, when you wipe over it with the cloth, you'll see that everything is completely gone. So definitely plan to use several cloths for the entire car. Here you can see the color refresh, and it is really very good. So it must be clearly stated that the dark transition here is really strong. So such a paint is also enhanced by the color. Of course, it's pointless with white, but here with contrasting variants, it's definitely top notch. So now let's take a look at the hydrophobic behavior, and we'll first spray on the unsealed side, but we also have areas that are slightly polished. It's nice to see that such a polished and smooth paint can still exhibit reasonable hydrophobic behavior. But we can already see from the droplet shape and the runoff paths that there is certainly never such an extremely strong hydrophobicity here. Where the paint is not polished as nicely, you can see up here that it grows significantly larger. But now we are comparing it here with the sealed side, and right here in the middle we have the transition. So I have to say quite clearly that I can't really notice a strong beading effect here on this side. So here, after the 60 minutes plus another 40, I definitely expected it to be a bit stronger, especially in areas that are already polished. However, that did not further enhance the beading behavior. Okay, that's certainly interesting. At that point, I definitely had to look online for instructions again and found the instruction sheet at Meguiar's, where we can find some information at the bottom. I have marked that here again. Attention, the product requires 24 hours for the initial curing. Avoid moisture and all chemicals. That means I did not wait long enough. The problem is, and this is something I really have to criticize, it is not stated on the bottle. It cannot be standard that you first get the product and then find nothing in the regular website texts. And I have to rely on the PDF files to read everything in detail, at my own pace. Yes, the information is definitely present, but it must be included in the instructions on the bottle. That is missing, and it is an extremely important point. Personally, I don't think it's good, and that's why it's only natural that I repeated the test. Here on the surface at the back of the tailgate, we have also polished in the last few days. That means we also have nice finished areas that are in really good condition. And now we will go over here on the left side again with the Meguiar ceramic coating. And on the other hand, I also sprayed another comparison product afterwards to better compare the hydrophobicity, because we have the hydrophobicity that we just saw on the hood, which was not yet after 24 hours. Yes, now applied here again. You can see here that it actually spreads quite easily. Then let it air out again. And during that time, I simply applied this on the other side to give it a bit of air out time. And it actually worked quite well. So the tip is to definitely plan for a bit more cloth material here for the Meguiar ceramic coating application. But it should still work well in the end. It worked here on the Uni-Black as well. On the right side, as mentioned, is the comparison product, and this is simply for the hydrophobics, so we can compare them directly afterwards. Now 24 hours have passed, it was even 26, and let's take a look at how it looks. Yes, and now it is quite clear that after 24 hours, the hydrophobicity has definitely increased significantly. Whether you say, okay, this is already at the absolute top level, you have to decide for yourselves. We are here at the tailgate, where it is laid out completely horizontally, so we have hardly any slope where it can really run off. I then refilled the sprayer here, and you can see that it doesn't create an extremely large water layer. So now it definitely beads up, which means we can say it's definitely in a good range. I also tested the following. I wiped it down again with the dry cloth here, and let it dry. And then you can see here, we definitely still have some residual streaks of the product left. It seems to still be dissolving and forming a slight oily film. You can see this very clearly here, even though it has been able to air out for 24 hours. And now I've just done my test, sprayed on the spots again, and now you can already see that the droplets are getting flatter, so it doesn't seem to guarantee full durability here yet. I definitely found that disappointing. And up top you can see the difference. The beading is still very good in areas where you haven't wiped over yet. So you can also see from the shape of the droplets that it definitely diminishes as soon as there is a load applied here. I then did another test. I went over it with a very soft wash mitt, rubbing it 5, 6, 7 times, but really without applying full pressure. And here you can already see how the puddles are becoming completely flat. And now a noticeable water film is also forming. Of course, the paint in that area is definitely already quite smooth, but as it looks now, I don't think there's much of the product left on it. So it is very, very clear that the durability is not guaranteed here. And I found something else.
Check out the video, I will link it again. He had exactly the same results, and for him, the product completely gave up after just one shampoo wash. And here is my picture of the beading behavior after application. It doesn't look much better either. So it seems that what I have found out here also corresponds to reality. But let's see what Andreas has discovered. Greetings, cheers, and hello from my side as well. Since I also have the Meguiar's Ultimate Ceramic Coating at home, Sebastian asked me to quickly share my experiences with you in this video and, above all, to try it out again on my own to see if there was anything wrong with the paint on Sebastian's car, if there was an issue with the product, or if I would come to the same results. I applied it here on the front of my Mini, specifically in the middle of the hood. I applied the ADBL Synthetics Browix on the right side, on the driver's side, just like Sebastian in 2001. And I also applied the Meguiar's Hybrid Ceramic Detail on the left side, on the passenger side, because I like the product. And my hope was that the Meguiar's Ultimate Ceramic Coating is essentially a performance-enhanced, more durable version of this. I applied it, let it cure for 24 hours, and then I noticed while driving in the rain that the water droplets on the side with ADBL Synthetics Browix, which my passenger filmed for you, ran off much faster, while on the side with Meguiar's Ultimate Ceramic Coating, they did not. But then I thought to myself, maybe it's simply due to the aerodynamics, that there is just more airflow on that side of the Mini. Maybe that's the reason. However, I noticed that in the rain, the droplets on the side with ADBL Synthetics Browix are much rounder and significantly smaller than they are with Meguiar's Ultimate Ceramic Coating. In particular, I noticed that the droplets with the Meguiar's Ultimate Ceramic Coating are less round than those with the Meguiar's Hybrid Ceramic Detail. This is when I started to have my first doubts. But it really got intense. During the first wash, I'll first show you the initial beading behavior. One has to admit that the Meguiar's Ultimate Ceramic Coating does not come close to the hydrophobic properties of ADBL Synthetics Browix, not even remotely. You can see the beading behavior. The runoff behavior is much better and more pronounced with ADBL. It can also be seen that the beading behavior of the Meguiar's Ultimate Ceramic Coating is approximately as good as that of the Meguiar's Hybrid Ceramic Detail. So one has to ask, what good is a ceramic coating if it isn't even better than the regular ceramic quick detailer from the same brand? Well, I continued on because at least I have to say this is okay. The initial beading behavior is not as good as with ADBL, but ADBL is outstanding in this regard. I just continued and washed the surface with a slightly alkaline car shampoo. Now, it must be said that any real ceramic coating would laugh at a slightly alkaline car shampoo. A true ceramic coating should not be affected by it at all. And you can see that even after the first wash, the Meguiar's Ultimate Ceramic Coating was compromised. I would personally reapply it now, but I would be massively disappointed if the manufacturer promises me a ceramic coating when it is already so compromised after just one wash. And above all, and this is just, yes, it's a joke, the Meguiar's Hybrid Ceramic Detailer handled the first wash much better than the so-called real ceramic coating. But from the same company, ADBL Synthetic Spray Wax. Absolutely unimpressed. It still beads just as well. I washed it again with the same shampoo, and in terms of hydrophobics, I would personally say that the Meguiar's Ultimate Ceramic Coating was gone or almost gone. There were only very slight residues left, and again, the Meguiar's Hybrid Ceramic Detailer performed better here. The ADBL looked as it did before the wash, just like on the first day. Absolutely fantastic. Everything is not bad here now. Applying it is not exactly child's play, as you have to pay attention to streaks, but if you distribute it according to the instructions long enough until it starts to evaporate on its own and then wipe it down again with a cloth, it works. What is quite strange here is the German translation, and that is, this is the beginning of the end. The German translation says to spread it until it flashes. What does that mean, flashing? That's a word that doesn't appear anywhere else in the detailing world. It seems English because in English there is the term flash or flashings when it comes to ceramic coatings. This refers to the curing process. But if a global player like Meguiar's seriously goes ahead and simply uses Google Translate for such a translation, then that is a testament to poverty. 2001, an absolute testament to poverty. The paint smoothness is outstanding, really, really good. One of the smoothest products I have ever tried, and you have seen that the initial beading behavior is okay. But when the manufacturer promises me an ultra-durable protection, meaning an ultra-durable coating for the paint, and talks about mega hydrophobia, then that simply isn't true. It's not true. The manufacturer is promising too much here. That, and I really apologize because I actually like Meguiar's. I like Meguiar's especially because their products are rock solid and, above all, safe for idiots to use. But this here symbolizes everything that, in my view, is going wrong with Meguiar's. My feeling is that since the takeover by M, no one here really cares about detailing and the products anymore, because selling this as a true ceramic coating is a disgrace. Given what we have seen, that 2 simple car washes are enough to almost completely kill the hydrophobicity, it's simply outrageous. And from that perspective, yes, I have had the same experiences as Sebastian. That's just how it is. Yes, and with that, I now hand it back to Sebastian and leave it up to you to decide whether you want to watch it or not. And I believe that was a lot of information. Once from me, once from Andreas, and the video is from America. You can also check it out again. And I really have to say, I don't want to repeat Andreas's words. You heard it. Overall, this somehow fits together in this regard. There is no indication of the standing time on it. Could this have something to do with the product performance? It's all quite strange. So here I really have to say, the 200, what is that? 206 and 30 ml. Difficult. A very, very difficult thing. I believe there are 1 or 2 products that perform a bit better on the paint surface, and that's why we'll leave it at that. You've seen everything, I don't need to repeat myself. Until next time, thank you much for watching. We appreciate a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos, leave a subscription. And we are always available here for any question. I'm directly here via WhatsApp number, and we'll see each other again next time. Maybe again with a Meguiar's product, but that was really quite a disappointment. Until then, folks, ciao.